Fun fact about Skysaga's coding, when we're in third person, our whole character model loads up, but when we're in first person, we're just a bunch of hands. What's up, dudes and dudettes in the arena? My name's Scythe, and we are back again for some more Skysaga, a world of mystery. As you're going to notice, I have deleted all of the other Uggles Islands around my homestead. Outside of these ones over here, I've been extremely busy. I ended up going to my jungle island and grabbing all of the thousands of different props out of it and placing them kind of around the area. You can see I've got like torches around, I've got little lanterns, feeding pens, and these were on the jungle island as well. Pretty much took all of the props that I could and just kind of laid them around the area into what I am starting to think is a pretty cool home base. This was kind of forced on because I couldn't figure out where to actually use these tarps. Like, seriously, I have no idea where to put them, so I just did that. Also ended up putting down another one of my blueprint houses because, just a fun fact, I am going to do a tutorial. I'm actually going to do a couple tutorials on Skysaga, but right now, I'm waiting on Alpha 10 for pretty much everything that I talk about because a lot of this stuff is actually going to be nullified, right? So, there was a YouTuber I was checking out, Drake5290. I would say to check him out. He seems to be one of the many go-to guys for Skysaga tutorials and stuff, and he was kind of talking about what's going to actually be deleted once the game actually rolls over to Alpha 10. Now, I'm not going to go into too much detail about that. You can always check out his tutorial on it, but the biggest thing is that when Alpha 10 comes around, they're going to be resetting our characters, so that's why you may or may not have noticed that off camera, I haven't been playing Skysaga so much. I kind of just get on to record, and that's all there really is to it, right? But one of the things that isn't going to be reset is our home island. Published ones, I should say. So if you can, go to your home... Where's my home island? Oh, it's right in my face. Just press F, bring up your home island, and just publish the island, which is going to be the green one, or republish it anytime you end up changing anything about it. And then you're going to be able to actually access your home island once Alpha 10 ends up coming out, right? I want to also go do a bunch of adventuring as well today because this is quite exciting. A lot of the changes, like a lot of the things that I've been complaining about periodically, not that much, but a few of the things that I've been complaining about in the series have actually already been addressed in Alpha 10. Not because I've said anything. These have been things that they've been long in the works. So one of them, quite obviously, that I noticed right off the hop, I've been watching a couple of those dev streams with Boomkin, and they've fixed the third-person camera angle so that the center of our reticle is kind of, it would be at this angle now, and the center of our camera would be up here, so we can actually do proper third-person combat. It's not as extreme as I'm showing, but it's just, you can do proper third-person combat instead of having to fight like this with your character blocking all of the screen. Also custom keys, so you can set up customize all your controls. These menus are going to be fully adjustable and movable rather than just being stuck on the menu. And these portals here, remember how I was talking about how 1 million players could end up hogging one portal over and over again? Well, they're actually adding a new custom menu that's going to have like all of your screenshots, where you actually go into adventures and stuff like that. It's all just going to be accessed in this one adventure menu. And this is the biggest thing. Now, I am so surprised that they actually ended up doing this. I'm very, very happy about it because with all of these 500 different crafting tables, it becomes a bit bulky. You know, it really, really does. And as much as these crafting tables are cool and everything like that, it's just too much, you know? But they've condensed it down all to one crafting table in Alpha 10. Isn't that crazy? So finally, you don't gotta go all over the place just to craft like 5 million different things. And while I can understand a lot of the hardcore players and even the devs and the animation team that actually had to make all of these beautiful prop items, I hope these stay as prop items. That would be really cool. But the fact of the matter is that there's only going to be one crafting table, which I personally like. I feel that it's way more approachable for casual players because up to this point, even with myself, like I know all these crafting tables now, but it was quite a learning curve. So let's go into a random, maybe, which type of adventure should we even do today? Let's actually do this forest adventure right here, just the main quest. Maybe we'll take a little bit of a longer episode today. We'll see. Now, just to reiterate the point that I was trying to make is that because everything's being reset, you might not want to be grinding all the way to the end game or anything like that. You might want to wait until Alpha 10 actually comes around. But one of the big exciting things about Alpha 10 that I was most interested in was also the little things that I ended up mentioning. But they've kind of got these little changes that are going to affect the game in big, big ways. So they've got glass blocks, proper glass blocks that actually all connect to one another, and it looks beautiful in this game because, I mean, seriously, this game's graphics are amazing. They always have been. But the other thing, too, is they ended up adding a whole tutorial section, and it's beautiful because it has fire, and I love fire in video games. Fire is just like so... Why did I kill that sheep? Fire is just so beautiful, and man, they nailed it in this game. It looks so good, dude. Like, I want a flamethrower or fire magic in this game, or a fire weapon. That would be beautiful. No news on that in Alpha 10. No enchanted weapons. But they have been adding a lot of cosmetic items. That's one thing that's very, very much improved upon. Man, these enemies are actually hurting. I'm also not in first person as I should be, because otherwise, you idiots and your stupid shields! Like, seriously? No! I'm gonna get wrecked! Nah! Oh, these enemies and their dumb shields, dash to the side, please! Like, seriously. Oh my goodness gracious, you know what? You can come outside to me. I'm getting too distracted by the dumb combat, you know? Not dumb combat, I mean just myself, like just getting way too distracted with this when I don't want to. Okay. But yeah, so they've got so many different changes. Check out the devs live streams, twitch.tv/SkySaga Game. Not exactly sure what their YouTube gaming stream is, but I mean, I only ended up catching the Twitch one. Okay, we answered our far hailer. I don't know what they were trying to say. But the other big changes was they added a bunch of different block types that are going to vastly change the game itself. Okay, like they added soap blocks, which pretty much operate like ice blocks in a funny way where you can actually slide all over the place. The redstone or Ludo blocks or something. I'm sorry, I don't know what they're called in this game, but Lumo blocks, I think that's what they're called, but it's pretty much the redstone. They've added like pistons, right? So they've added like these things that are gonna be able to push you around and momentum the player. Not sure if it's gonna end up working on blocks and if they've added sticky piston equivalents to Skysaga yet. Maybe they will in the future. I don't know. I haven't actually seen footage of it yet. The door is blocked. Okay, no problem. Let me just pickaxe it to death then. The door is blocked and I can't pickaxe it. Okay, there we go. That's a very weird generation. Okay, but anyways, what are we supposed to even do in this house? Who cares? But the other thing too is they've added magma blocks, which look amazing and also made me think of what they can actually end up doing aesthetically to the game, like to the adventure worlds and stuff, because we can actually have like proper volcanic dungeons and stuff where you can actually fall into the lava and well, it's magma, so it's like solid blocks, not like a flowing lava or anything. I don't want to get people too hyped about something that's not coming in. But either way, it's very, very cool, dude, like needless to say. And even with all of the redstone updates, they have letter blocks that they're going to be adding, and just all sorts of stuff they ended up showing off in the stream was like it was like a race map that somebody ended up making, and it was a lot more. What's going on? How do I get out of here? If you don't have a way out, just make your way out. They ended up improving on the pickaxe speed as well, so it's not necessarily as tedious. One of the devs also mentioned very briefly that there's going to be a slight adjustment to the sprinting speed, because the way that the sprinting ends up working in this game, if you don't know, is you pretty much run forward for 5 years and then eventually your character gets up to this speed right now, which is the fastest movement speed. And they've slightly lowered that number so it takes a little bit less time for you to actually go into the sprinting, but not exactly sure if any players are going to even notice that anyways. But also as far as the cosmetic items and stuff is concerned, and this has me pumped because most of all, SkySaga is always going to end up being a free-to-play game, and I was always very curious what direction they're going to end up taking when they add a cash shop. I'm honestly surprised that they haven't added one just yet, but the game technically is still in alpha, even though it's been in development for like 50 years, right? But they've added the cosmetic items, which tells me the direction that they might end up going. Not to mention, they also showed off the new character customization, and boy, your character can look so swag. Like your character looks a lot different. They also kind of hinted at the fact that you might actually have different custom emoticons, different custom like animations and stuff like this that might be race specific. So human, monkey, or the Draconis lizard people, right? Where's the rest of this dungeon? What are we supposed to do? Search for clues inside the chest in the cathedral. Oh. Was that cathedral over there that I didn't search? I don't know. We might not get to do this quest entirely in today's video. Most of all, it's about the Alpha 10 hype. Also, I just noticed too, because I was wondering, why is it dawn? Why is the sun setting? Why is it not going away? That's because we're in a dungeon, one of the first of many, that actually has it set at dawn or dusk. It looks more like dusk, right? But either way, that's the thing that I have mentioned in other videos, which is really cool about this game, is when you go on an adventure, it's kind of set time zones. But it's really, really cool that we're going to be able to access these portals just with that new dossier, let's call it, right? So you're going to be able to just open that at any time and go to your home world, go to featured islands, go to adventures and stuff like that, and play with friends and everything. It's really, really improved upon. Like, it's really, really great. They've also kind of changed to make the building and the adventuring a little bit more exciting, but they're going to show more of that off in the coming weeks, and I can confirm that the release date is going to be somewhere near the end of the month. That's pretty much all the devs ended up actually saying about that. Which, that was kind of the thing, is I was really, really wondering what the release date was going to end up being, and now that they've actually kind of confirmed that it's going to be a little bit later in the month, so I'm assuming maybe 20th and up, you know, something like that. I don't know the actual date though, so don't quote me on it, but it means that we kind of have a little bit more of a window of opportunity as to where we can actually play and how far we can actually get in the game and stuff. But it's really, really cool that they ended up doing all of that stuff. Like the amount of changes that are actually coming to the Alpha 10 is amazing. Not only the character customization, which is great, I also got to actually ask the devs, and they seem like really awesome people, dude. They're like so chill. It's awesome, and they really, really listen to the fans. That's one thing that I would always argue about Skysaga. Even though I kind of came off and on with this game, you know, kind of played it and then stopped for a little while and stuff like that, you know, and even some of the complaints that I've said throughout the series about like the game and its development cycle and stuff like that, you know, one thing that I would never, ever, ever say is that the devs are not cool, relaxed, really sick people that really, really listen to the community. It's just a long development cycle because they're an indie team. You'd be surprised, like, this is an indie game. That's absolutely amazing what they've done with this. But the other thing too that they ended up showing off was I'm not sure if they only have one type of fragment now. Don't quote me on that. Again, sorry to say, I don't really know the specifics of it. Just kind of what I saw in the stream and what the devs were actually willing to talk about. But they did end up showing that there was a new type of currency, or maybe it's not a new currency, I don't know, but it looked the same as fragments, and I wasn't exactly sure whether or not it was just going to replace all fragments and just be one type of currency. Portal fragments are still going to end up being the exact same though. Obviously, you know, they use that method, like use the fragments as a method to kind of limit the player as to where they can actually explore so that they don't progress too far into the game or anything like that. What are we supposed to do? Speak to Agnes the Black. Oh, okay. I guess we're already done. But either way, it was just really, really cool, and they ended up having cosmetic items that you could buy from an NPC. Now, they kind of only hinted at it. There's this new chicken-suited character that's hanging around in the hub, which I'm all but certain it's going to be cosmetic items, because separately in an email I got talking about Alpha 10 hype, they did talk about cosmetic items and actually getting your characters to look, a very specific way aesthetically, right? Now, one thing that I did end up asking the devs was, because of the new customization to our characters, whoopsie daisy, are we going to be able to have an option to hide our helmets? And they did say that they are definitely looking into that. Personally speaking, I would also think that it would be really cool if they just had a vanity slot. I think that would be great. Make it so that we can hide our helmet, or that we can have a vanity slot so that we can end up making our character look however we want, while also keeping, all of the armor and defense of all the other gear. Now, to the point that I was trying to make, but I kind of prattled off and started talking about other things, is... Oh my, this is distracting me like so much. Give me a sec. So the point I was trying to make was, like I said, they ended up playing that race, and there was a new type of currency that allowed them to get more rewards for completing that race. They kind of are going in the direction of daily rewards and stuff like that, right? So what I immediately thought as soon as they ended up crafting that new resource was Cash Shop. It had Cash Shop written all over it, because it's a daily resource that you can only get so much of, or potentially spend money to buy your way past it. Now, I don't have anything against that. I'm just saying my theory behind what they're going to end up doing as far as the Cash Shop is concerned. Not to mention, most importantly of all, on top of that, I think that if they end up adding all of the vanity items and costumes and stuff like that, potentially we could see that being a Cash Shop method, because one of the things that I have a big suspicion about is, at least for me, I have a very hard time gathering the knots and the currency and stuff like that, generally speaking, and because of that, I've kind of always had this assumption that the knots and in-game currency is going to be a Cash Shop item as well, because it would just make sense with how tough it is to grind for there to actually be a payment method to get past it. But this is all just my personal opinion. It's just theories, nothing set on any of that yet, and who knows how long this game is going to even take to actually develop. But very excited for what's coming around the corner, folks. I would definitely recommend, again, check out the dev streams. They're showing off some pretty crazy stuff. That intro tutorial section that they had was just amazing, and they didn't get to kind of show off their homeworld island just yet, but they did say that there was a lot of big changes to it. So in the following weeks, I'm going to be keeping up with the devs live streams as much as possible, but this is going to be kind of the one definitive video where we're going to talk about the Alpha 10 hype. And then I'm just going to kind of continue as usual within this series until Alpha 10 comes out, and then we'll talk about all of the features, right? But either way, the fact that we can actually make our character wear a chicken suit is exciting enough, isn't it? Thanks so much for watching, though, everybody. Very much appreciate it. Don't forget to like, share, favorite, and subscribe for more daily content. Sayonara, and stay epic, everybody.